Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am here this lovely Monday morning with my husband, actually, Mordechai, who has not been with us on the podcast for quite some time, but is back by absolutely popular demand to help us connect with the biggest picture. And I really think that reminding everybody that you are more than a drop in the ocean is both ironic, but also really important to remember, because this week the universe is echoing for us with urgency and with great excitement that I'm going to say you, the listener, are the most important person on the planet right now. And everything you do is important, is valuable, and matters. And this is not a emotional or psychological concept. We are going to take you through a deeper understanding of spiritually why this week, and how you can take advantage of it. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we aim to provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical tools to navigate the coming 7 days. We do this by gleaning through the wisdom of Kabbalah and sharing practical and powerful tools to help you navigate not only the coming week, but any week of the year, any year of your life. And it seems, at least for me, as being a fellow inhabitant of the planet right now, that the world's problems are much bigger than me, that there's not a whole lot I can do. I mean, even as I recycle and, smog check my car and things like that, it's really very easy. And I think part of the work of the opponent, the other side that tries to get us to do less and desire less, wants us to focus on how insignificant we feel, how insignificant it seems we are, and what I'm doing in my home possibly make a difference. And, whenever I try to talk about stuff like this, when David is here, he's like, I don't care about stuff like that. Tell me how to make my life better. I represent the people who just want to have a better life. But I represent the people who think life is okay and are really much more motivated by making a difference in the world, in my community, in my family's life, in the lives of people that I love and I care about. And so this is maybe your annual reminder from Weekly Energy Boost that what you do is absolutely and intrinsically valuable. And that's the starting point for our conversation this morning.
Yeah, it's not even about making our lives better.
Well, from David's perspective.
Yeah, from David's perspective.
David only wants to know how he can have a better life. The fact that the whole world can benefit from it,
It's exactly the opposite. When the whole world can benefit from it, that's when we get our lives to be better. And if you look at history, how many people really made a difference? Game changers in whatever it is that they did. Relatively to the population, not in a depressing way, but, the earth is filled with billions of graves out there of countless bodies. So we're not here just to make a dent. We're here to make a difference in a way that will really make a shift in the world. Now, you might say, maybe you're not one of those people that were meant to change history. But Kabbalah teaches us that, this is from the founder of the Kabbalah Center, Rav Ashlag. He says that each and every one of us is a rock taken from the mountain. The mountain here is the creator. And therefore we have all the attributes. The rock, just like the rock has all the attributes that the mountain has, in a similar way, we have all the attributes that the creator has. In other words, we are meant to be, to become like, to be an extension of the creator. An extension of the light force of the creator in the physical reality. And therefore, and we'll get to practically how we're doing it, but therefore it's important that we start to inject the consciousness, the seed level. Let's pause for a moment. If it's safe for you, you can even close your eyes and connect with who you truly are. each and every one of us is like a Superman or a Superwoman. In the case of my wife, right? We are the best in our league. We might not know it yet. It's like even Superman has this moment, like the moment before he realized that he has so much power, and the moment after. And we are all in potential, because we are very far away from who we're meant to be. We are all in potential, the Superman we're meant to be. Think about it, right? Why do we like to watch, I know many people like to watch those movies, right? The movies with the superhero, even with the super villain, right? Why people like those movies? Because it's connecting us to some truth that we have inside of us, that we are meant to be the greatest version, to shine great, unique light. And not by a chance, this week's energy is connecting to shining the unique light that you are meant to be revealing in your life. And we're going to talk about also how do we bridge the gap between where I'm at right now and where I'm supposed to be, because it's very far away. And, at the end of the day, when we hit the pillow, do we want to make sure that did we really do our best? Did we really shine this special, unique light that only us can reveal? And the second part of it is that in this week's energy, there's a discussion about the different windows in time that are available for us throughout the year, Kabbalistically. And how is it connected to our unique self? Because our unique self is like a window in time. We have opportunities and the Kabbalists teach us that every single day is unique. In fact, every single day is an entity by itself, according to Kabbalah. Not connected to the day before or the day after. And every single day is a day that never happened before and will never happen again. And this is the same with our unique light. The light that we are revealing right now is unique and will never happen again.
Okay, but that's also often a very abstract concept for people. We teach in our classes that the work of the soul is on two directions. One is to diminish my ego, my selfishness, my reactive need for instant gratification, let's say. And the other is to grow as a giver, to grow my ability, my quality, my quantity of giving, my open-heartedness, my compassion, and all of that. The challenge that comes up when we teach this idea, people are hyper aware of what they need to change, of how they get in their own way, of what they need to work on, of how they're holding themselves back. They're also hyper aware of who around them is in their way and holding them back, and what circumstances they would change externally and internally. I would say people are much more aware of that than they are of what are they here to share with the world. Unless you are, you are certified in something and you love it. If you're a great musician, if you're a great writer, if you may be a fabulous attorney or doctor or teacher. And I do feel that people who have a calling that they incorporate into their profession feel they know what their gifts are. Most people don't.
Right. So what you shared, the two aspects of what one thing to do and one thing to refrain from, this is the roadmap, this is the GPS, this is the technique to find your calling, to connect to the bigger picture. And this is the how-to. The what actually happens is that you feel at that moment, and I'm not saying that I'm already there, I'm just saying that here and there you can taste from it, that you experience joy, you experience purpose. When you wake up and you are connected to your purpose, you experience motivation. You experience excitement that is from within. It's not something external necessarily that needs to happen in order for you to be motivated. So the how to get there, in order for you to be receiving the revelation of your calling, which I can tell you only from having a taste of it, it's better than the best restaurant I've ever eaten. It's through those two aspects. Refrain from operating from your ego, and that is related to every time that we are also reactive, because when we are reactive, we forget at that moment that we are connected to the big picture, that we have a purpose. We are allowing ourselves, hopefully not, but allowing ourselves to get distracted. And the other aspect is to allow your light to shine, you need to experience the growth of the muscle of giving, the muscle of sharing. And how? It's sharing that is taking you outside of your comfort zone. Sharing that allows you to extend yourself. So these two aspects, sharing that is transformative, meaning it's you plus an action that is outside of you, is creating a new you. That expands your vessel. And refraining from operating from your ego, from your reactivity, from your reactive mode, is allowing that the pipe that is now extended is not blocked by energy that doesn't serve you in the best way. In other words, if the vessel is expanded, but there's still like energy in the system that sucks the reward, sucks the light, so even though the pipe is bigger, now the individual is, I'm just giving an example in terms of money, but because it's more tangible, now this individual is making 1,000 times more money a year than before. But the ego grew as well, so it doesn't seem like, even though the revenue is greater, now it's in the billions, potentially, the expenses are also in the billions. So what's the difference between someone that is making 100,000 a year and their expenses is 95,000? So the ego shrinks, refraining from the ego, it shrinks the energetical expenses, and the sharing that is outside of ourselves expands the spiritual revenue.
So how does an individual who has very little quote unquote influence, maybe they aren't a part of a large community, they don't have a large family, they don't work in a large company, they interact with, let's say, the same relatively small circle of individuals on a regular basis, even in terms of the stores that they shop at for their needs and things like that. It's a very small circle compared to others who may appear to have greater influence. How, in my tiny little corner of the world, if I'm focused on transforming my ego and growing in my sharing, how does that benefit anybody except for me and anyone who's on the direct receiving end of my goodness?
So where did Superman start? In the big city?
No, but to really express his gifts, he had to go to the big city.
Yes, but he started small. You gotta start somewhere.
Smallville.
You gotta start somewhere. You know, this thought that the individual thinks about themselves, that they are a little man, even watching the news, or like, what difference can I make? It's like my view is like the ant view, like what can I possibly change? This is exactly where the reversed part of the ego is working, right? Like, because the individual, each and every one of us, has such an amazing potential, and we don't want to wake up 20 years from now or whatever, right? That we will be the person that they will say about them, oh, they have such a great potential. We don't want to we don't want to be part of that conversation. This thought is an investment of the opponent, the force that is opposing to us, that we can grow. It's like the machine in the gym, opposing to our muscles so we can grow. This is exactly his system. The more he believes in you becoming the Superman, the more he will try to convince you and invest in you that you are nothing, that you can make no difference. In fact, if you are suffering from low self-esteem, you came to the right place. Because this is exactly, the more you have it in your mind, the more light you're meant to be revealing. He is investing in you so much, that energy, the opponent, is investing in you so much because he knows who you're meant to be. So and each and every one of us is the child of the Creator. We meant to be the kings, the rulers of our lives, completely to control the physical reality, completely manifest anything we want. Yes.
No, I want to make sure I understand correctly, because if I'm confused, right? It doesn't matter, or you're saying, in other words, whatever work I have to do, I'm the only one who can do it.
Yes. And if you weren't the only one that could do it, meaning there's another person named Elisheva with the exact same life somewhere else, that seems to me like a waste of energy from the point of view of the Creator. He's sending one person to do that particular job, and that's you.
But you're saying on another level, like, okay, maybe that explanation works when there's somebody asking for money or food on the corner. Everybody who passes that person can give to them. Right. I can look at that opportunity and say, everybody else is giving, I don't need to give. I'm thinking more about, something that I often say to people is, you're the only person who can do your spiritual work. Meaning, if I have to work on my ego, right, no other individual in the world can work on my ego but me. No other individual can be a greater being of sharing for me or define transformational sharing for me but me.
Right.
But how does that contribute to the bigger picture?
So if I'm attending a class at the Kabbalah Center with 1,000 more people, maybe it's online, maybe it's in person, I might think, what's the difference if I attend the class or not? Anyway, there's going to be 1,000 people there or 999 without me. What difference can I make? And this particular thought is exactly the thought. It's not our thought. It's exactly the thought of the other side that opposed to us. So we can become the greatest that we can be by resisting that kind of thought that does not promote positive growth. So those 1,000 people that attend the class, they're all making a difference. And they're all making a difference in a unique way. Because of the quantum physics, because of the quantum energy, any shift, any transformation that I'm going through in that spiritual experience, and by the way, it can be many other things, right? Including 1,000 people doing the same type of job, 1,000 people doing the same type of giving. Yet, the consciousness is what makes the difference between one individual and another. The type of soul is what makes the difference between one individual and another. So we all have the responsibility, the ability to respond to the different opportunities that come our way every single day. So I am unique. I am special. I might do very similar activities to like other people do, but the unique light that is being revealed is coming from the inside out. It's my journey and my consciousness that, and soon we'll get to it, right? Like my consciousness of how am I making a difference. But if you want to see how do we bridge the gap between where we are right now and where we meant to be, I would say the beginning is to even start to visualize, take time. Many Kabbalists used to do it a lot. Take time, especially in the beginning of the day, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to silence your phone, learn to silence your mind as much as possible, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, and converse with the Creator. Ask questions, as many as possible, about your journey, about your destiny. In fact, the more questions you ask throughout the day, the more you are connecting to the bigger picture. So this is, and again, remember the roadmap. 2 aspects. Refrain from being reactive. Remember that every time you're reactive, and it's okay if you're catching yourself. Sometimes things happen with humans. So a button is being pushed. At least you are aware. You know, there's a great opportunity right now. So there's now a concealment trying to be coming through the reactivity. I'm not going to choose the reactive route because I'm here. Superman is not now like someone is going to insult him. He's not going to be busy right now with the person that just pushed his buttons, his soft point. He has now a greater job to do. But it's the little things that make the difference. So the route is through these 2 aspects, right? Refraining from the ego and expanding our vessel through transformative sharing.
What if you have somebody, I mean, I can think of a number of people I know who have this mindset. They realize that their main work in the world is to work on themselves. All the different things that can mean. They're aware that there is an opponent, a force in the universe that challenges us. They're aware about the illusion of the physical reality and how many times our opponent uses the external to distract us from the true work. But there's also people that find themselves in, let's say, jobs that they don't like. And they can't leave because they need to provide for their families.
Right.
And they don't see the spiritual value, meaning they have a spiritual life and they have a physical life. They make a living, they work. Sometimes they don't make such a great living, but they go to work, they do their work.
They have to.
And it's to them, because they don't look forward to it, they're not passionate about it, it's not their purpose. They find it difficult to be in their purpose of working on their ego and sharing more while they're at work. For some people, it's at home. Some people not love being at work, but prefer to be at work than to be at home because they dread being at home for whatever reason. How can they, I mean, if your work is the only work that matters, if you are the most important person on the planet, but you feel you're at a job that isn't right for you or that you're trapped in, or a relationship that you're trapped in, how do you reconcile that?
Or it can be even a place that someone lives or an environment. It can be different things. It's like that individual can be, at least for a period of time, be stuck in the matrix. And the way to get out of the matrix is you have to break the pattern. Meaning it doesn't mean right now that you're going to just tomorrow go to your boss and say that you live in the job. You need to transition from that place to the next level. So there are different ways to do it. And I'd like to suggest few ways to do it. Of course, you can choose whatever works for you, but there are few, it can be like a mantra or an exercise that you can do. So exercise number one of my favorites, is that it's even 5 minutes a day, but if you do it throughout the day as many times as possible, there's going to be a greater effect. Because the mind does not differentiate between, it's the same brainwaves between dream state, reality, hallucination, and visualization. It's all the same brain activity. So you can see it even with people that are wearing those glasses, right? Those virtual reality glasses, and sometimes like they even fall, and there's nothing in the room, right? But the illusion looks so real. But for us, it's the same brain activity. So number one that you can use is say to yourself, you can choose whatever the amount is. I have this beautiful amount of money in my bank account, in my possession. So I have all the money I will ever need. Now that I'm wealthy, how am I conducting my day throughout the day? How am I operating to be in that vibration of the wealth? By the way, if you're already rich, it doesn't mean you're wealthy. Because wealthy is a state of mind that I am connected to abundance, that I have everything that I need, that the Creator is my provider, and that I am being taken care of. It's a proactive state with money. Rich can be a reactive state with money. There are people that are rich but are not wealthy because they have fears about different things. They might be loaded with money and still not wealthy. So the first mantra or question, I already have all the money that I need. I'm starting my day. I already have all the money that I need. I am the wealthiest person I can be and that I need to be. And now, how am I conducting my day? Am I as stressed? This decision that I'm making, am I making it from a place of lack or from a place of I'm already full? If I'm asking for help from someone, is because I really need their help, or I'm giving them an opportunity to share with me the experience? Starting to operate from this, how am I asking this question, how am I approaching this situation when I'm wealthy? Not if, when I'm wealthy, is generating that vibration. And it allows the individual to break through the cycle or whatever it is that's stuck. A second way, not my favorite, but some people use it. If it's the last day of someone's life, if it's the last day of your life, how are you conducting your day? How are you allowing yourself to connect to the big picture? How are you making a difference if there's only one day left? Again, not my favorite, but
it works for some people.
For some people, it works. And another thing, which is one of my favorites, I started to use it, and it works like a charm. I received it from my teacher, from Michael Berg. It's a very simple mantra. You can even write it down for yourself if you wish. My desire today is to manifest in the world today the light that completely transforms the world. And my desire is to become a conduit to the endless light of the Creator. So by thinking about this, my desire, I'm right now in this amazing podcast with my wife, which is a great quality time. Thank you for that. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for reminding me. And my intention when I start, I want to connect this experience to the endless light of the Creator. Otherwise, it's just going to be a blip on the chart. This needs to make a ripple, a domino effect in the whole world. This action, this session is going to change the world. This is my desire. My desire is this is going to change the world. So if someone is stuck right now in a job that they don't like, and they're only doing it because of the money that it gets them, but they really would do something else, I would encourage them to ask, if you have right now all the money in the world, what would you do? Start to already be in that vibration, even though physically you're going to that place. And when you go to that job, or when you go into that relationship, to that conversation, or to that place that you live in, and you don't like it and you want to change it, You already have all the money in the world. And if it's the last day of your life, I don't know, some people use it, but the last one, I'm already in it. So my desire today is through this. I'm going out to that job. I'm going out to that conversation. Every little thing, this is going to change the world. How? What? Not my business. My business is to be the Superman that I can be. And practice makes perfect. So every day I'm going to ask, every moment, every opportunity. I'm answering a text, I'm answering an email, I'm picking up a phone call. It doesn't seem important. By the way, whatever seems to be not so important, that's probably where you want to put some energy, because the opponent is investing in you to disregard whatever seems to be not so important. And by thinking like this, that every little thing that I do makes a difference. And by the way, you can see it throughout the different movies that are based on a true story, right? About people in the sports industry that got injured and different things like, there's so many stories, right? And we love those movies. Why? Because they're talking about shining this greatest light that we are meant, only us. There's no one else that can do that. So when I'm thinking like this, that every little thing that I do is going to make a difference, I'm attaching my actions to the endless reality. And therefore, I can manifest even the smallest things. But on the other hand, if the individual is coming to their job and they're not thinking that it's making a difference, your consciousness is what creates your reality. So unfortunately, it's a waste of time.
By the way, that's something that's proven. There was a really interesting research done. His name is Professor Richard Weissman, and he created what's called Luck School. I heard his name from doing the episode with Murray Hidary a few weeks ago, and I started to read a little bit about it. And basically, he created a month-long program in which he took a group of people, I don't remember exactly how many it was, and this is just one of his research projects. He interviewed them, categorized them, they feel lucky, they don't believe in luck, or they feel unlucky. And then he taught them 4 proven strategies to feel more lucky. Okay? At the end of the month, 80% of the participants felt their lives improved.
This is amazing.
It's amazing because it proves that your perception changes your reality. So let's say, for example, one of the practices he taught them to generate this good fortune in their lives was breaking daily routines, dealing more effectively with bad luck by imagining worst case scenarios. That's something, if they had made a different decision, something worse would have happened. And so by using those techniques, 4 different techniques he told them, and simple mindset practices, not, they didn't have to eat different foods or exercise in a different way or anything like that. 80% of them were now happier and more satisfied with their lives as the result of acting like they were lucky, believing that they were lucky, and living their lives like they were lucky. So I love that quote unquote proof, because what it tells you is that if you treat your time and your energy as the valuable resource they will be more valuable, more impactful, and more effective. But like you said before, if you think it doesn't matter, it won't matter. And science has proven this in all different ways, the particle versus wave discussion, that literally now what they've decided, and you can Google this, by the way, particle versus wave, the current research shows that how the atom behaves depends on the intention of the research. That if the research is trying to prove it's a particle, it will behave like a particle, meaning our consciousness literally determines the outcome. Yeah,
now teacher Rav Berg was talking about it throughout the years, and the Zohar, the main text of Kabbalah, also mentions that about the particle and the wave. So this is amazing, and you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay that out of 1,000 people, I don't know if the numbers are right, but I'm just going to give an example, right? Out of 1,000 people, only one really, really thinks that they can make a difference. and the other ones just exist. It's not okay. We need to step up the game because there's so much suffering in the world. You know, you can even be right now, maybe I shouldn't use the word even. You can be with your spouse and having quality time. You can be with your child right now and having a quality time. You can have lunch, dinner, breakfast, and by you injecting the consciousness, this is changing the world. This is going to make the difference. By us starting to inject the consciousness of connecting to the bigger picture. I meant my light is unique. I am the child of the Creator. I am unique in the world. There hasn't been someone exactly like me in the past, and there will never be someone exactly like me in the future. It's time to pull up the sleeves, and if you have a short sleeve shirt like I do, it's even better. You don't even need to pull up the sleeves and start to move to the next gear. And it's only a shift in consciousness through visualization, through conversations with the Creator. And I promise you, not because it's me, on behalf of my teachers and the Kabbalists, that they knew how to play this game of life correctly. And they won in this game in their era, in their time. I promise you that the more you speak with the Father, the parent of your soul, which is the Creator, I promise you, the more you're going to get answers. We as parents and we as children, parents want all the time for the child, and then every normal parent want their child to share with them how was it today, asking for advice, updating them, making them part of your life. The Creator is the ultimate parent, and every situation we have is an opportunity for us to get closer to our ultimate parent, and the rewards are going to come, and they're going to come fast. So get ready.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
It's to be alive versus to exist.
Okay. So be alive with this next question.
Yes.
We just began the month of Taurus. I don't know if we've ever had a live Taurus on the show
of the year
during the month of Taurus. How can we use the unique qualities of this month to do what we just talked about? So not just the weekly energy, but also the energy this month.
So how can we use the unique energy of this month? First of all, the Taurus known for the perseverance. They are in for the marathon. So they don't get discouraged relatively easily. So we can connect to perseverance, which is for this month. That's number one. Number two, they known also to be, on one hand, hard workers because they want to be comfortable. But on the other hand, they, I don't like the word, but forgive me, fellow Taurians, but some people say that we tend to be lazy. I want to look at it as more efficient. If I need to become the best version of myself, I'm going to find ways to quickly get there because it's going to be more comfortable. And we are motivated by being comfortable, which is not a bad thing. So this is the second thing. And the third thing is that the Taurians, they are known because they are connected to planet Venus, which is the planet of beauty and love. They know to appreciate beauty, to appreciate art, to appreciate life, to appreciate the wonders of the world, even in the smallest things. They love to love. Recently, my wife and I went on a certain concert, and it wasn't, let's say, the most appropriate, but I didn't see it that way. Even though the fellow people that joined us couldn't take it at a certain point, but we actually connected I connected, at least.
The only Taurus among us.
I connected to the beauty of the art. Like, look how much effort. Look at the production that they're doing. So you want to use the gift of this month. The Taurians, they value beauty. To take as many moments throughout the day and value who you are. Value your value. Value that you are a unique superhero, a unique Superman, and start the day by saying to yourself, wow, I don't even know yet what blessings, what miracles the Creator is about to give me today. So I'm excited because as much as I'm planning the day, I'm going to keep on persevering. I don't know how it's going to plan out, but I know that the Father of my soul, the ultimate parent, is here with me. I'm talking to him throughout the time, and he's guiding me in every step of the way to shine my greatest light, which will give also my ultimate parent the greatest pleasure to see his child graduate.
I honestly feel if enough people felt like that and lived like that, the world wouldn't look the way it looks today. And that's really people say, well, what can I do? How can I help? It's not something you do with money or possessions. It's something you do internally.
And by the way, I just want to say, I want to add a note that is important. It doesn't mean that right now you finish listening to this session and you're saying, okay, that's it. I'm going to conquer the world. And the next day there might be a challenge. There might be it might be a bumpy road. It's okay. It's part of the journey to make you who you're meant to be. It doesn't have to be that it's like going to be a soft walk in the park. Usually, many times when we are revealing a great light, like Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, who revealed the Zohar, he was 13 years in a cave. I don't know, without all the details, which is like, being in the war seat in the plane. I don't know if Rav Shimon Bar Yochai was notified before that it's going to take 12 years, 13 years. Maybe he was. But you know what? Yes, there might be bumps in the road. But when you connect to the bigger picture and you look back afterwards, but you want to look forward, it was worth it. All the time it was worth it. For the light of the Zohar, the main text of Kabbalah, to be revealed, it was worth it for Rav Shimon Bar Yochai to be 13 years in a cave. What is worth it for you? What is the effort you are willing to make in order to shine your greatest light? And it comes with effort. Doesn't have to come with pain, but it comes with effort. You'll need to move a little bit.
You heard it here first.
From the Taurus. You need to move.
Taurus. You need to move. Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can visit our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, where you'll find all the things we've been talking about on our episodes, as well as archives, the opportunity to send us a message, and the opportunity to donate to help continue our podcast. As always, though, the best thing you can do is like, rate, review, and share this episode. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us, by the way. I'm not sure if I thanked you at the beginning or... Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. And we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.